We have a pretty big day in the companies today. JVH is on his way over, but until he gets here, we're going to do a little question of the day. The question was, if you missed it, Lewis, what do you do when you've got the project, but you're going through a rough patch, you've got the challenge, and it's hard? Here's what I sometimes do. I ignore the problems, put my head in the sand, dissociate from the challenges, go and get drunk, finish a bottle of wine, contemplate jumping off the balcony, and just fucking calling it a day. But on closer review, the times that I do that, the results that I get from doing that are not typically my best results. So if you're going to do stuff like that, do what you got to do. Make sure you analyze what worked and what didn't work though. By the way, getting drunk in the middle of the day has benefits. There are benefits. There are a lot of drawbacks, but some of the benefits are it loosens the inhibitions, particularly if you're doing creative work, writing, for me in particular, whatever happens in my body, a few glasses of wine, I do my best creative work. Then from the fourth glass onwards, it gets worse, but I got this little hump there. So what I'm trying to say is, whatever you decide to do, the strategies that you're already deploying to handle bad times, just make sure you're analyzing them very objectively. And what works for me might not work for you. What works for science and all the studies and all the reports and all the things that the people try to tell you might not work for you. Everyone's different, so I'm not going to tell you this is the thing that always works. What I will say is you're already deploying strategies. Step one is analyze them. A lot of people's strategy is to completely dissociate and go onto Facebook. And I know that entrepreneurs are doing projects or doing startups or launching something and they have a hard time and they think, fuck this, I'm going to go onto YouTube, onto Facebook, and I'm just going to scroll. Analyze that. Find out for every 10-minute Facebook scrolling, what works? What do you get from it? Oh, you're seeing people really doing worse than you that make you feel a bit better about yourself? Okay, log that. Write that down, because then you can go into viable alternatives. What is another way that you can get that benefit without the drawbacks of wasting the time doing the scrolling? But real quick, let me just give you the things anyway that have been the most effective for me. Firstly, I have a break state thing that I do. I have a file here on my desktop called listendaily.wav. It's a song. It's one of these songs, right? It's one of those songs. It doesn't have any words. It's not a real song. It's like a cinematic trailer song. I use these kinds of music in my video edits, but this particular one, for whatever reason, I resonate with it very closely. It cuts through any of the emotions that I'm running, and it somehow triggers something quite deep. It triggers power, certainty, and confidence. And those are the things that will help you pull yourself out of funk. So that's one thing that I do. That's just one little thing that I do. Another thing that I do is refer to my Grandmaster Plan. I go and look at my purpose statement, my life's purpose. When I read that, holy moly. Just that alone is very meaningful for me to read and remind myself, because I look at this every day. You got to look at it every day. You forget. I've scripted my whole life, planned my whole life out, but you still need to keep consulting it. One thing here, for example, that I haven't shared is my 7 primary business objectives. When I read these, it gets me. I get the goosebumps on the arms. It pulls me out of funk. These are the reasons that I do business. This is why I'm in business. When I read these and I remind myself of these, any fuckery that you're dealing with, any problems, any challenges, any people that you want to have knocked off and buried in a ditch, you realize that the purpose is bigger than the temporary challenges. JVH, say hello.
Hello, Mr. Snap.
JVH has arrived. I gotta wrap this motherfucker up. So one more thing that I do, I have a moments of inspiration sheet that I consult all the things throughout my life that when I've experienced them, they give me goosebumps. And then one more strategy that I do that I will share is my gratitude list. I get a pen, I get a paper, of which I have about 100 lying around the house, and I write all the things I'm grateful for. Caveat, this is the hardest one to do. When you're in a funk, you don't want to think, I got nothing to be grateful for, nothing is working for me right now. So I got to ease into that one. Typically, I usually make that like 3rd or 4th on the list when I'm in a funk. I got to lube myself up for that. I lube it up with some Pinot Grigio, with some of the listendaily.wav, all the things.